Greetings, Captain, and welcome to Stowbutter's Elite TFO training on the Gateway to Gre'thor TFO. What are the objectives?
Iconian forces are blockading the Klingon shipyard and starbase in orbit over Kronos. 2 squadrons must be defeated at each location to allow Allied ground forces to reach the surface. On Elite, you have 3 minutes to clear these sites. Next, escort transports from the shipyard and starbase to the surface over the next 6 minutes. On Advanced, at least 10 transports must reach the surface, while on Elite, the minimum number is 25. Lastly, a Herald fleet led by a dreadnought will arrive to reinforce the enemy position. Your final objective is to defeat this force. On Elite, you have 3 minutes to do so and complete the TFO. Good luck, Captain.
Thank you. On to risks and rewards. This TFO needs moderate coordination to play well on Elite with all optionals and without dying. The main area of coordination is properly allocating ships to each part of the lane in the second stage while escorting the troop transports. Against Iconians, the enemy threat level is moderately high, as opposing ships are numerous and can be quite dangerous. Energy gateways increase enemy shields, solar gateways deal significant damage, and the spawning gateways will summon cruisers and battleships on Elite. Also, be aware of electromagnetic pulse probes, which have a significant disable effect. This TFO awards a moderate amount of Iconian or fleet marks, along with a chance for subspace comm power pieces. Lastly, this operation is of moderate length, as it is guaranteed to last over 6 minutes due to the time-gated second stage, but the first and last stages can be quick with the appropriate team. The adversaries on this operation are Iconian Heralds, which have a combination of smaller and larger ships. The smaller Bolton Raiders are not much of a threat, but Quas cruisers and especially Vaunt battleships are far more dangerous. Battleships can summon solar gateways, which inflict severe damage over time if left unchecked, and can spawn them behind player ships. Both cruisers and battleships can summon energy gateways, which increase their durability, and have abilities like EMP Pulse Probe and Ionic Turbulence, which can disable or interfere with normal ship operation, leaving you vulnerable to more conventional attacks. Iconian forces in the second stage principally arrive through a series of spawning gateways, while also summoning radiation gateways that damage and slow the transports. The radiation gateways are the chief danger to the transports, whereas the Iconian ships that arrive from spawning gateways are more dangerous to players. In the first stage, only attack enemies at the starbase and shipyard. There are 2 other groups of Iconian ships that aren't part of either objective and should thus be ignored. If you complete your stage before the other team is done, go assist them, bypassing the group in the middle. In the second stage, divide the team between the 2 lanes, with at least 2 players on each lane. While it is possible to solo a lane, it is significantly more difficult on Elite, and will make failing the TFO more likely. The priority in the second stage is closing radiation gateways first. After that, focus on closing spawning gateways, and third, fight the Heralds unless the transports are under attack. It is possible to camp a couple of spots on each lane that cover all the spawn zones, such that you don't have to move during this stage, but we're not going to illustrate that tactic because it's unreliable and uncoordinated play. Lastly, it's important to note that you need to come to a complete stop when closing gateways. Moving too much past a series of invisible boundaries will reset progress on the gateway, even if you remain in close proximity overall. Crossing the midpoint, for example, will reset progress and likely result in damage or destruction of Allied transports. Fire wheel builds are moderately capable on this map, as they can easily clear EMP probes and solar gateways. That said, cruisers and battleships will pose more of a challenge, and you can't always trust Faw's somewhat random targeting to completely nullify Iconian summons. At the start, pick either the shipyard or starbase and fly there to destroy the Iconian ships. In this run, I was at the shipyard. Target the cruisers, then the battleship when it arrives. Notice that a pulse probe still reaches me and disables my ship, so I take significant hull damage before activating some emergency heals. As a fall build, you will draw aggro. On the sidebar, you will also notice that one of my teammates went down as well, so this problem is not exclusive to fire oil builds. If the other side needs help, move there after you finish your side, ignoring the group in the middle. I move over at maximum speed to help finish off the battleship and other reinforcing Iconian vessels in order to advance the TFO. Once done, I return back to my original position at the shipyard.
The starbase is secure. The troop. Shipyard troop transports are beginning their run to the planet.
In the second stage, focus on protecting transports by closing radiation gateways. It's generally a good idea to focus on planet side or orbit side on any one of the lanes, rather than traversing the length of the lane. But you can do so if you can't rely on your teammates, just be prepared to have lots of speed boosts. If there are no radiation gateways, it's a good idea to close spawn gateways to reduce the number of Iconian ships. Remember to not move while closing gateways, as I illustrate here. It's also a good idea to engage targets of opportunity while closing the gateways, but remember, the radiation gateways have priority above anything else in this stage. You'll basically continue this cycle for the entirety of the transport stage. Keep your situational awareness up and watch for radiation gateways. If you spot a gateway farther from you that transports are approaching, use speed boosts like evasive maneuvers or deuterium surplus to get there quickly. When battleships arrive, you'll want to focus your firepower on them, but they might take some time to bring down. Given a choice between fighting one and saving transports from a radiation gateway, again, closing the gateway has the priority, and if we repeat this a lot, it's because it's frequently missed in pug runs.
Shipyard troop transports are beginning their run to the planet.
Remember that the transports must reach the planet and perform the warp out animation before they are counted as complete. You can also use heals and resist boosts like hazard emitters on a transport to reduce the damage it takes from a gateway and heal back some of the missing hull. In this sequence, I approach another radiation gateway and battleship, but the ally in my group indicated that they had it under control and waved me off. In a public setting, I would have probably remained as insurance since the transports at my side of the lane were in danger of being hit by a gateway. Even if you are handling your end of the lane, be vigilant for trouble at the other side. Here my lane mate went down and we lost a transport because I didn't get back fast enough to rescue the radiation gateway. While we had more than the required number of transports needed to advance the TFO, it's still worth mentioning. Here, I lose focus on transports and I'm happily fighting raiders and cruisers before I realize that we're losing transport hull to a radiation gateway. I do manage to heal it and it survives, even after hitting a second gateway, but it could have been flown better.
Shipyard troop transports are beginning their run to the planet. Shipyard troop transports are beginning their run to the planet. Shipyard troop transports are beginning their run to the planet.
Also, be careful of the battleships, as one of them does serious damage to me here. If you can take their shields down with a console like Tachyon net drones, or maybe carrier wave shield hacking, you'll find them much easier opponents. The last stage is straightforward. Target the dreadnought and fire everything. It will attempt to teleport towards the shipyard if not destroyed quickly enough, but if it does, chase it down and finish it off within 3 minutes. Once the dreadnought and its attendant ships are destroyed, the TFO completes. Captain, if this breakdown helped you in your quest to play Stowe better, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. The link to the specific build used for this tutorial is in the description. For more guides and builds, check us out at www.stobetter.com.